We're here today handing out information to delegates that are arriving at the IMO for the shipping conference. They're coming to decide if there should be emission reduction targets for shipping. Every country that is part of the UN IMO process will be sending a delegation. Some of the countries are pushing for a target, and then there is the dirty bloc, which is currently Argentina, Brazil, Japan, and these countries do not want a climate deal. So the problem is what these ships are burning in their engines. So if you imagine the oil that comes out of the ground, there's refineries, and the cleaner stuff is what is put aside for cars, and the really dirty, the really thick, nasty, crude bunker oil is what's burnt in ships. This has a much higher sulfur content. So the biggest 15 ships release the same amount of sulfur as all the world's cars. And this is happening out at sea all the time. 90% of world trade is done by ship. Everything around us, everything that we use every day, be it mobile phones, watches, clothes, food, all of it is being moved by ship. Maybe we should be making more things locally and moving things around less.
Actually, I'm also NGO.
Very good day, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on the Ship of the Future. Thank you for your support, and together we can make a change.
For your support, we can do this. We can do this.
Good morning. Welcome for the Ship of the Future. Good morning. Are you sure? There you go.
Good morning, class. Together we can do this.
If shipping was a country, it would be the 6th biggest emitter, bigger than Germany, bigger than Japan. We're talking huge emissions. Currently shipping is 3% of world emissions. If it's left unregulated, it's predicted that by 2050, it'll be 1/5 of world emissions. That's 20% of world emissions. We can't let that happen. If that happens, the Paris Agreement, nothing's going to count. We're not going to have Pacific Islands. They will go under the water. So that's why it's absolutely imperative that shipping takes action now. Another amazing stat that I find quite mind-blowing is that all this immense amount of fuel is being burnt, moving a large amount of weight around the world. And of that weight that's being moved around the world, 50% of it is fossil fuels. That's oil, that's coal, that's natural gas. It's being moved by big dirty ships. Now obviously we don't need to burn that fuel to move that thing. We've got solar power, which we can have everywhere. We can have distributed energy systems, we can have wind power. We always hear the same thing from companies. They tell us that they can't take action because it's too expensive. Well, that's absolute nonsense. You know, we were told we couldn't have an electric car, and then Elon Musk comes along and we get electric cars. We can have electric ships. There's no technological reason why you couldn't have zero carbon ships. We want zero carbon ships by 2050.